Why did YouTube pull my video? Part 2. It's been a couple of days and I've had to do a lot of work at trying to figure this out, but I put the same effort to it as I did with the Gospel of Thomas interpretation, so I got someplace. Here's the deal. So I post a video, first of all, that it's a new video with my dialogue, and that's always okay. But I posted with it some previous material that I had put up over a year ago. I added with it because it helped fill in a gap. Here was the start of life. Here's the second life. We're going through the hero's journey, and I'm doing the help and mentoring part. And so for part of the help and mentoring, what I'm doing is showing what I had to go through and what was there, what was my massive stuff that I had to get a hold of to show people I'm not just blabbering something, that I actually went through this path. So I'm telling people about my life, the life of abuse, of being born in a home where I was burned with cigarettes and whipped, and it was pretty severe. I talked about my brother's death. My brother Larry, he committed suicide. He hung himself in the woods. I cut him down. I found him in the woods. I was looking for him, and I cut him down. I had to run home, get a knife. I cut him down and gave him mouth to mouth and made him vomit. And I was 9 years old. He was 11 at that time. But the beatings continued, the whippings. Eventually, I became somebody that was self-mutilating, ran away from home, was living on the streets. I had no place to go, but I was not going to stay at home. So I took backpack and I'll go die somewhere. I don't care. I saw people taking handouts on street corners in the city, and I thought, well, I'll just go do that. And, of course, then people see you're a young boy out there, and they're like, dude, you don't belong out here with these homeless people. They bring you in, and then they molested me. And there was a lot of hurtful things early in life, and I'm putting that into the video to connect with people. And if you're hearing this story, I'm okay. There's no issues. I've worked through this. What I'm trying to do in the video series is show how you go from one place to another. This is where I was, not where I am. But I want people who are there to go, okay, I get what he's talking about. All right, so long ago, as I'm starting the channel, I don't know what to do. I'm watching and I'm learning and I'm trying to figure out, there's a little lead in, some kind of an intro thing. You get into it. I'm trying to make something that looks good. I'm buying music and stock photos and all that stuff and trying to build things up. It takes a long time. I'm not very good at it. If you go to my earliest videos where I talk about this in my life and how it all starts, the beginnings and overview is a playlist. You'll see that they're pretty rough compared to, I think. I hope I've gotten better. But at that time, I was using a lot of stock images and things like that. And in order to portray the graphic nature of it, I had pictures like somebody holding a gun to his head, a noose, the silhouette of a boy holding a noose with him looking at it as I'm considering, I had even considered suicide myself. So I'm showing some graphic images in there that, quite honestly, they don't need to be there. I think that if let me get on to what's happening first. I'm hearing from YouTube that your material, your video doesn't comply. Read the regulations and either delete it or have us review it. This is after it's been up for half a day, hour, something like that. So you're thinking, well, it took them a long time to get to it. And now they're saying they don't like my subject matter when they're not paying attention. I'm trying to exchange with them. And eventually I'm seeing things like, because I don't pay attention right away, I check my email and I'm getting things like, I got a whole pile of these every time I upload it from YouTube. Hi there. We're reaching out because members of the YouTube community, including fellow creators, viewers, or staff, have expressed concern for your safety or well-being after coming across content you posted with topics related to suicide or self-harm. And that happened every time I uploaded the thing that was not okay. And I began to realize, okay, I'm talking to data bits here. Nobody's reviewing this until I have them take a look. The initial catch is something that's catching it, but it gets uploaded first. Then I realize, there's, 100,000, 200,000? I don't know how many videos get uploaded to YouTube every hour. Nobody's going to watch that stuff. It has to go through systems that are looking for certain problems. And the platform can't be wide open. People posting sex and, harm and drug use and abuse, and things like that are not okay. Let's post gang pictures of beating up people and killing them, and that is not okay. It is not a platform for anything like that. But there's a point where they're trying to find a line with what is okay and not okay, and they have to do it with software. And I realize I'm talking with software, and I realize they're not even listening to the video. They're looking at photos and making comparisons, but they don't do it right away. So it looks like somebody's viewing it later when they're not. It's being looked at by software. They just are not looking at it when it first gets uploaded. They're catching it later. And then they're alerting to it. But they're alerting to things like, does this look similar to something we don't permit? Does this look similar to something we don't permit? Yeah, they would. And even though my intention was not to try to be graphic in any way other than trying to create a video that had some sort of an impact, I realize I don't need that kind of material to have that kind of an impact. And the people like us who have been through those situations, we don't need pictures. We got it up here. We remember what it was like. And I could be more graphic than that was. I had a video in there, a black and white video that I found on the internet of a father that was whipping his daughter on the bed. I shrouded them out so you couldn't see him, but you could see that the belt was whipping, and that was going to come under an age restriction thing. People that have, I got to be careful I don't go all over the place. Let me finish talking about YouTube here. I'm not really involved in social media. I don't get involved in all that. I just am posting videos here doing this, and I don't keep up with things very much. But I realize that there are, TikTokers and things like that out there that are doing things that would take an image like that and say, yeah, let's do that and make a video. There's too many people out there that don't think anymore. They're not, I don't know. Maybe we were all that stupid when we were that young. I don't know. But I can support what they're doing on the platform. They are not picking on me. Go look at video number 1. You're going to see something very funny. You're going to see me in victim status. What are they doing to me? What have I done? They're not doing anything to me. And I didn't do anything either. They're simply saying there are certain things that are not allowed, and there's millions of you. We don't have time to tell you what it is. Figure it out. And I've been looking at the past couple of days, looking at other people with similar complaints. And a lot of them, I think, I have no sympathy for them. People that are like posting somebody else's material saying, I got permission to do it, or it's okay to do it, but they've got monetized channels and their monetization goes away because it's not okay to post somebody else's material and get paid for it without permission or without paying for it. You have no sympathy for people like that. Yeah, YouTube is not this big creature that's trying to shut you down. They're protecting people, and they're trying their best to protect people out there. And there are ways that we can talk about what we need to talk about. There's ways that I can talk about what I want to say. I don't need to post pictures. I don't need to come up against those filters. Easy enough to do. And so I pulled down that video completely, and I've got a better one in the works. So it all worked out good. And it not only worked out so good that we're on the hero's journey, and the video is about the next step here is helpers and mentors. But in turning this corner, one of the things that I have mentioned, and it's difficult, this is a perfect illustration. This is like a magical moment, what just happened with this video, with what I'm trying to convey at this moment. Because I just demonstrated how initially, bam, you're in victim mode. They do this and you don't have it right. You don't have it figured out. You're trying to figure out what they're doing against you. And we instantly become divisive, us against them. What are they doing to me? And I've practiced this enough that later on that day after I post that video, I'm like, why am I thinking that I know better than this? Why did I go there? Why did I automatically do that? Think about this. There's a bigger picture. And as soon as you're seeing that once you realize you're doing this enough that you're talking to data, and then I realize, I can parse up the video and send it all up and see what gets rejected and what doesn't get rejected. You start seeing, okay, they're looking at this picture, this piece of video, and it lets you know what they're really doing and that they just don't have time to deal with their millions, billions of content creators. And what kind of revenue do I have? This is not going to be a monetized channel. So I know better than what I did. but I want to show this is a perfect demonstration of how we're going to go in when we start looking at the Mass. This was me being my conscious victim self, and then me stepping outside of it and being my higher being and going, oh, chill out, buddy. Let's take a look at this. Let's go look at it logically. Get out of your, oh, woe is me, what are they doing to me sensation, and move on. That having been said, I will tell you in the videos, or, as I was a child getting whipped, it was very abusive. It was, I will describe it as my mom holding you across the bed with a belt and just nonstop, very stern, veins distended, neck, face really, and sometimes she might tell you, shut up or you're going to get more, but it was just whap, whap, whap. And we'd be lined up on the bed, boys ready, each sniveling and crying already. You know yours is coming. She'd go through that. And to us little kids, it was a monster. It was just this horrible thing. I look back on it and realize that that's exactly what it was. It was something that she had inside of her. She couldn't make this trip. She had stuff in her that's playing out, and that's exactly how this works and how it works for us. And I need to get out of my victim status to stop thinking, oh, woe is me, I got beat, I got whipped. So this whole thing happening right now is a perfect illustration of how we need to step outside of the way we feel that we are being specifically targeted. We have to get out of that, or we're not going to see reality. Okay, and I will also say that I realize this is not the same thing. That is, we're going in and getting ready to face the things that we're carrying with us that we really don't want to face. There's another component that's going to come into place. There's going to be a wall of fear that we have to get through. So this is really not, this is just showing the component parts of getting outside of your conscious victim status mode and your practiced behaviors, whatever you're reacting and responding to, and step outside of yourself and look at it to see it realistically, or to see it for what it really is. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about this video. I'm going to continue on with the other one. I'm okay with what you two did, honestly. The fact that I didn't know about it, the way they do it, and you're thinking at some point, wait a minute, you had to review that, and there was something that came up on your screen that you took a look at, it was quick, and you said, nope, it doesn't comply. But they don't tell you what that is. They just say, the video doesn't comply, here's the terms of agreement. And it might be that you might have an hour video up with 1,000 pictures. With one of them that doesn't comply, you don't know what that is. So be aware of that. That's all it is. I think that it should be easy enough for us to stay away from those kind of situations. We kind of have an idea of what flies and what doesn't fly. And the world is changing where it's headed a bad direction. Humanity is a reflection of all of its individual parts. And you see chunks of it that are existing under certain terms from around the country. They live different lives with different value systems that are getting more and more extreme and bigger, and they're practicing them. And the reason that humanity is divided is because humans individually are divided. So the only way that this can change is for all the individuals to change. And as we add to it, if we don't change ourselves, but we get involved in what's going out there, we're making those bigger. We're speeding it along. We need to step back, get off the ride, and let things go. And that's what this path is kind of about, how to ascend above what's going on. Anyway, okay, I'll wrap this video up. It probably got a little bit longer than I thought, but there was more going on, and I wanted to explain it all. I don't think that I want to stay on this platform. I think it's very accessible and it's easy to use. And the material that I have is actually fine as long as I'm not posting images and things that, or there's no hate speech or anything like that in what we're doing here. We're looking to self-heal. This is okay. The subject's okay. I just have to avoid things that that even if they might be something that I can handle and you can handle, that there are people out there that can't handle them. And that's what they're working on. They're protecting them. They're not hurting us. They're protecting them. Okay, I'll get the other video finished up. Love one another. I'll see you there.